Welcome back. Our big story today is the investigation into alleged fraud at the Department of Human Services and the money taken from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program.
Well, Mississippi Today's Anna Wolf joins us. She was already looking into, how do you pronounce it?
TANF, yeah.
TANF, okay. Already looking into TANF, know that. And what it was supposed to be doing with that money. So, Anna, tell me, when did you find out, when did you first suspect something was going on? Obviously, the story broke yesterday, but you've been working on this for a while.
Yeah, this goes back a while. So I think that people started getting interested in the program when they realized how few people we were approving for temporary assistance for needy families, which is what we think of as cash welfare, the welfare check.
Yeah, okay.
So in 2016, we approved 1.4% of applicants for this program in a pretty, needy state. So that kind of piqued people's interests. And then we wanted to kind of see what we were actually spending the money on if it weren't on these folks who were getting approved for the program. And that's when I started looking at the funding and how we were spending the dollars.
So you had this huge amount of dollars appropriated for it, and then only X amount coming out at the other end, and it was a lot smaller than what was going into it. And so where'd the rest of the money go? Okay, that makes sense.
And then, we've been having families actually reach out to us saying they were denied from TANF.
Sure. So our eligibility is very strict and very low. So a lot of people don't qualify. I mean, if you're making any money at all, you're pretty much not going to qualify for this welfare program.
But still, obviously, something is going on there. So when did you first suspect that, hey, this is not all on the up and up?
So I started requesting TANF records in 2017, and I had a lot of trouble getting the agency to respond to me, which is always kind of a red flag. But when I realized that this one agency, actually two, that were supposed to be running this program called Families First for Mississippi, and the nonprofit was the Mississippi Center for Education. I'm sorry, the Mississippi Community Education Center. Don't let me get that. And that is an organization started by Nancy New, who also founded the New Summit School, a pretty reputable school in Jackson, private school. And so when I realized that basically the state was giving a very large lump sum of TANF dollars to this organization, essentially privatizing the role of DHS in administering the TANF program, I wanted to see kind of what that agency was doing and how they were using the money. And it was very difficult because this is a private agency. So I didn't have kind of the same access that I might have through public records requests with the state agency.
Yeah, and then we learned that she was accused of transferring those funds to private businesses and then turning that money into personal use, actually. So, we got news today from Chad White's office. What is your reaction to this coming out?
Sure. So I think it really boils down to the way that we contracted these services out to this sub-grantee, Mississippi Community Education Center, and the lack of controls that we had over how the money was spent. And so it actually didn't come as a surprise to that many people who had already questioned these large contracts with very unclear goals. One of the objectives of the contract of this agency was to increase employability within the TANF population. So that means help them write resumes, help them do job search. And I located some outcome reporting that the agency did to the state and found that in a period of time where they received $30 million, they helped 90 people write resumes and 72 people fill out job applications.
Small red flag.
Sure.
So I wish we could talk to you longer. But the announcement yesterday did not come as a surprise then. Okay.
It's a big fraud case that we'll all stay on top of here.
Yeah. Okay.